We play and call it work.
Did it work? Are we live? Hello there, people of the internet. Welcome to this week's live sit and talk. You got me, Josh. For anybody wondering, Lee will not be attending because he doesn't want to do anything live yet. But he'll get lonely and want to come in eventually. Give it a week or two. So anyways, yeah, this is the second week, I think, Cullen, that we're doing this live. I'm going to talk to Cullen because he's if I look over there, he's over there.
Hi, I'm over here.
So yeah, this is going to be broken up into answering questions that were left on last week's sit and talk, as well as getting to interact with you folks that showed up live and answer some questions there too. We are going to start off with the questions that were left on last week's sit and talk. Colin, you can't move around funny looking like that.
I've got to close the window. It's getting cold.
Colin's getting cold, so we're closing the window. So yeah, now next week is going to be Steve. So if you have questions for Steve, when we go ahead and post this video, if you're a Vault member, you can jump onto the video and leave some questions that Steve will answer. And otherwise, you can show up live and he will do his best. How many people we got in the stream with us right now, Cullen?
Looks like 83.
83, so hello to you 83 peoples that showed up today. So I'm going to go right into last week's sit and talk here and answer some questions. That's terrible.
It's American Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, it's American Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Yeah, ours was a while ago. I keep forgetting about that. You gotta get better writing if you're gonna keep giving me stuff like that, Colin.
Fine, I'll just say it.
that probably works better. So, jumping into the questions here, we're gonna start right off. Let's see. First, we got Captain Darling. Now, for everybody that's wondering too, obviously I will take questions for everybody that is in the stream. It's just gonna be after. What?
You might want to open it so I can start queuing.
Oh, okay. Good point. I'll do that after I explain, Cullen,
Go.
as I make it up as I go along. So yeah, I'm going to answer the questions that were posted first so I can make sure I get through all those. And then you will be able to post questions here. And the command you have to do in the chat is !ask. Then you leave a space, and then you can type in your question, and that should queue up questions. Anything technical, though, just put it in the chat, and Cullen will pick up on it. And anything that goes wrong, pardon me?
Only one at a time.
Yeah, you can only queue up one question at a time, so you can't, rapid fire put them in there. But yeah, anything technical that goes wrong, it's Cullen's fault, so I'll let him know in the chat and he'll fix it. Let me get some water here. It's funny that we were talking about this. It shouldn't be nerve-wracking doing this live, but knowing that I'm live means that I'm aware that I'd be more careful what I say, even though I don't usually put things into videos that I shouldn't say. So who knows? We'll see how this goes.
Can you see the fact that we just got a subscriber?
I can't see anything because I'm on the MiniWarGaming website. But whoever is the subscriber that just subscribed, who is it?
Berry.
Who? Kev Berry, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate the support.
Notifications aren't on, guys. I will have that on next week, hopefully.
I don't know. Can they hear you? Can you hear you?
I feel like they can hear me faintly.
Okay. So starting off here, we're going to go Captain Darling. Hi, Josh. Love watching you play 30K, especially Mechanicum. Some of the first MiniWarGaming content I came across was your 30K games I've been watching since. Cool. My question is, how do you feel about 30K sticking to 7th or 7.5 edition rules exclusively? Personally, I bought myself a fair few Mechanicum models so I could play versus both 30K and 40K armies back in 7th. Yeah, I think they were supposed to come up with a book a while ago and it never dropped. But put them on hold when 8th edition dropped. Would be nice for an official 8th edition version of the rules too. Thanks. Personally, I don't mind 30K staying with the 7th edition rules. As much as I like certain aspects of the 8th edition rules, I think I prefer the 7th edition rules overall right now. Maybe that's because I've played more 8th and I'm reminiscing about 7th, but in the few 30K games I've played, I've been having a lot of fun. Not to say I don't have fun in 8th edition, though. But yeah, Forge World's going to get on that. I really think that, obviously, I mean, somebody there is working on it, but I would love to see them have rules for all the Forge World models. If they're 30K models, it'd be nice to have 40K models for them as well, because I think it would be good for the 30K community, because it would have more of a reason to buy some of that expensive Forge World stuff up and be able to use it in both systems. Next up, we got Mylan at Josh. What faction are you most interested in for Drop Fleet Commander and why? Currently, it's the United Colonies of Mankind, the UCM, because they look cool and I like the lore to them. But really, I love the look of the ships. And they're kind of a straightforward, flexible fleet. And the weapons are really super easy to magnetize, so that's another thing for me. I have not checked out the upcoming historical ship combat game, Cruel Seas. It's Warlord that's doing that. It looks cool. I like the concept. It's the little torpedo boats and patrol boats. I don't know. It might be something I check out later on, after it's, you know, fully released and all that, if there's some people playing it, but wasn't huge on my radar. Even though maybe it should be. The rules look really cool. I just don't care as much about little boats. Attending Adepticon this year. Hopefully, maybe. MiniWarGaming as a company will not officially be attending Adepticon, but some of us might show up for vacation, you know, just to come check out the event. And if I do, I won't be signing up for any events, because last year I really didn't get a chance to walk around and enjoy Adepticon. So I'd rather show up and be able to enjoy gaming without having a schedule. All right, we got Gozbaz. Hello, Josh, and possibly Lee. Unfortunately, no Lee. Next week, maybe, or not next week. Next time I'm on, maybe we'll wrap him up in a blanket and make him sit here and answer questions. How are Titans coming along? Have either of you ever played any of the previous Epic Scale games? Would you want to see Titanicus expanded into a full Epic reboot? So the Titans are kind of in a holding pattern until the new one releases with the Plasma Annihilators. Because I didn't want to buy another Warlord just to get the same weapons I don't really care about. So now that they're releasing weapons separately, they're going to start rolling out a little bit faster for me, I think. Yeah, because I've got a Warlord, a Reaver, and a pair of Warhounds waiting. But I'll probably get another Warlord, another Reaver, and that'll be the collection for now. I have dabbled into the previous Epic 40K, but like twice, ages ago. Back when it was still like a supported game, I'm pretty sure. So no, I don't really have much knowledge on that. Do you want to see Titanicus expanded into a full Epic reboot? Not yet. Maybe that would be something cool down the road. But right now I want them to focus on just getting the game itself out fully, properly, and really focusing on the Titan combat. All right, next up we got Bane Chain. Hi Josh, I was curious if there's any plans to cover the Middle-earth strategy battle game. There's no concrete plans. When Steve and Luca get some spare time, we're going to do our best to have them film a game or two. Cullen's taking a picture, but he's leaning back so far. He's showing off his belly right now. So that's a little, that's a little distracting. Yeah, we want to do it eventually, but there's no concrete plans right now. It's one of those things when we get some spare time. Also, how has the transition from content producer to office manager been going? Thanks. The transition's been fine. At this point, I think it's been almost a year since I've gotten that job as office manager. So, yeah, so far so good. I'm having fun with it. A lot of this stuff I was kind of already doing unofficially before anyways. And I think Cullen can attest to the fact that I kind of, even when I wasn't in charge, I kind of acted like I was anyways, so.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, things are going very well for that. How's the chat looking, Cullen?
It looks like you got some built-up questions. Might be a good time to
jump over there, get a couple of those going.
Those and then let people kind of submit ones again.
So we'll go back and forth here. So, what do I got to do? I got to click pick next, or do I just read the ones that I see?
Read it and then pick next.
Gotcha.
And it'll delete it.
We got Sergeant Safety 70. Where's Quirk? Haven't seen him in ages. He's not working anymore, dude. So I had a beer with him, I don't know, like a week ago or something like that. Play some World of Warcraft, but yeah, he's not working for MiniWarGaming anymore. So now I hit pick next.
Yep. I should get rid of that one and move
Ooh,
to the
it
next.
Worked.
Awesome. Erin set it up last week, and she's not here today, so I was kind of afraid.
Aaron made it work. Perfect. Next up, I am not going to say your name. You're Zeb. What you going to add to your 30k Mechanicum army needs more Horus Heresy. I can tell you that the 30k Mechanicum army is not actually personal property of mine. That's MiniWarGaming's. So right now there's no plans to add anything to it. I got some ideas of what I want, but it's not high priority scale because we're not really focusing too much on 30k right now. Primarily because there's not a huge audience for it compared to the other games, and there's not many guests wanting to come in and play. So hopefully, if those two things get remedied, we'll see some more Mechanicum stuff, as well as other Horus Heresy stuff. Let's go the next one here. Casual Lunatic 113. Have you considered adding some Inquisition to your Imperium armies? I found it fun and fluffy way to tie in my Garden Deathwatch as well. I can't see the rest of it, Cullen. What do I do?
What?
Oh, it's just a long question. Wait, I click on it or something?
Does it open it more? Try it?
No. Well, it turns out if you type a long question, I can't see the whole thing.
Interesting. Who is it from?
Casual Lunatic 113.
Have you ever considered adding some Inquisition to your Imperium armies? I found it a fun and fluffy way to tie in my Guard and Deathwatch, as well as having some fun with conversions.
Okay, fun with conversions. I actually, funny enough, I need to go talk to Lee. I don't have any Inquisition added in yet, but that was one of the next things I'm going to do. Starting off very basic, I'm going to add in, what's his name? He's got the really cool looking plasma pistol and he's pointing. It's an old miniature. I got an old metal Gideon Lore, I believe is what it's called. So I'm going to add him to the roster of stuff I have pretty soon. But yeah, I'm continually kind of expanding to the Imperial army that I have. All right, pick next. Do I play Malifaux? What's my favorite faction? Malifaux is a game that I have not tried whatsoever. I've kind of skimmed through the minis and none of them really spoke to me, but that was ages ago. It's never really been on my radar. Next up, we got Grum Reaper. Have any bold predictions about Chapter Proof before it drops? No bold predictions. I would love to see them change. What are the armies that have it? It's the -1 to hit armies. The Alatok, Raven Guard, Styges, Alpha Legion. Drop that silly -1 to hit rule. It just doesn't fit for me that well in the game right now. And change it to cover or something like that. Like the, what are they? The Blood Axes have got. But yeah, I'd like to see them get rid of that. And just rework some of the wording. So perhaps some of the rules working on ones before modifiers is probably the way we want to see it go. Shooting plasma at a plane makes you more likely to kill yourself. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like that. So yeah, the things I hope to see in a minor level, other than like the point adjustments, would get rid of that whole -1 to hit army special rule that certain armies have, as well as change plasma weapons like that to be, ones before modifiers, not after. Next up here we got Helbreck. Hey Josh, what do you think it will take to increase 30k popularity? I don't know. It's one of those slippery slopes. I think what you're going to see happen is you look at 8th edition, and as soon as 8th edition hit, a bunch of the 30k crowd kind of disappeared and they went over to 8th edition. As people get kind of bored with 8th edition, you're going to see 30k increase in popularity. It's kind of going to be up and down like that. So hopefully within the next year and a bit, you'll see more people getting into 30k and wanting to expand out. But yeah, I think they need to do another good release in plastic to get people interested. So we all jumped in here at MiniWarGaming when they released the Betrayal at Kelth. Burning of Prospero saw a bunch of people jump into the game. There needs to be another good box set and an easy way to get into the game. Is Games Workshop going to do that? I got no idea. All right, I'm going to jump back to some of the pre-submitted questions here. We got Zergalurgadurg. Hey Josh, guard question for you. When you decided to do Mordians, what was it that drew you to them? Also, I'd like your take on a thing I thought of. I recently realized that you can put heavy weapon teams inside the Vulcan Mega Bolter Baneblade. I can't remember which one it's called either. Which means you can give them all las cannons and put 4 of the chassis. You got 13 las cannons to shoot with. I appreciate your time, and I'll take your answers and comments off the air. Appreciate your time, and I'll take your answers and comments off the... Oh, yeah, because you're not going to be watching live. I gotcha. Mordians, it is simply a rule of cool. I thought they were one of the coolest looking regiments. So it was between the Mordians and the Praetorians were my 2 choices. And Mordians actually had rules. Praetorians, I was just going to use the Mordian rules anyway. And so yeah, Mordians won out just because they look cool. I remember playing back in 3rd edition, seeing a metal Mordian army and being super impressed with it. So they've always kind of stuck with me. Yeah, the all your eggs in one basket big transport Baneblade thing. I think it's got its merits. It's good. I don't like having one big unit though that does all the work. So I like taking the Hellhammer because it's a good fire magnet and I can count on it to do some decent damage. But it's not all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to give my opponent a very obvious target to shoot at. So, I don't know. Try it if you want to. I just think you'll get bored of it after you play it a couple times. What we got next here? Big Dog Wilso. At Josh. Bit of fun one. Nurgle, Khorne, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh all decide on full-blown war with each other, not stopping until there's a victor, and not worrying about outside forces. I think they're already doing that, dude. The Chaos Gods don't get along with each other that well. What are the opposed ones right now? It's Tzeentch and Nurgle hate each other, especially, and Khorne and Slaanesh especially hate each other, I think. But yeah, nobody gets along with each other, and they've been constantly trying to wipe each other out for millennia. So I don't think there's anybody standing at the end as a victor, except for maybe one day Malal. If you want to look up some old lore, look up Malal, M-A-L-A-L. But of course, Malal can't win, by definition of what Malal is. Next, we got Balthazar87. At Josh, I asked Steve this a few weeks ago and wanted your opinion since you seem to have an affinity for death rays. What rules would you give for 40k Volkite weapons for Marines? Thanks for all you guys do and happy chewing. Ooh, I wouldn't even mind the mechanic of the extra hits. So every casualty you cause with a Volkite weapon, you get an extra hit. I'm fine with that. I'd say port the rules right over. I wouldn't want to get into the weird mortal wound thing because of how that interacts. But I think, yeah, for balance sake, a little 15-inch range Assault 2 weapon that is Strength 5, and for every, I guess, yeah, every wound you cause, it gives you another chance to try to wound. I'd like that. I don't mind that. All right, we got Shogun111. At Josh, hey, a while back I posted trying to get ideas on 30k armies, picked up Iron Hands, good choice, and have a Betrayal of Kelth and even threw a list together in Battle Scribe, but I'm a bit hesitant as I'm worried that my list will have holes. Any suggestions for a next step? Don't worry about it. 30k is one of those games where, like, build what it is you think is cool. You can always, like, throw the list up online. Go to, I don't know the best 30k community right now. Bolter and Chainsword is a good place to go to cover a lot of your bases. But feel free, yeah, put your list up on somewhere online. Have people pick it apart. Don't necessarily listen to all the advice you get because some of it's going to be terrible. But maybe, you know, after you read what some other people's thoughts are on it, you'll be able to see some stuff that you hadn't seen before. But ultimately, yeah, no. 30k army is really cool. Build what looks cool and you'll have fun. All right, let's jump back over here to some of the Twitch questions. So remember, if you want to ask a question, you can queue up with one. You can only do one at a time, and it is exclamation ask, A-S-K, then a space, then whatever your question is. But I think most of you people are getting this. So the top one here, Couch Potato. Are you thinking of getting into AOS? Is there a specific army that catches your eye? So, I think for Age of Sigmar, the thing for me is that there's none of the new armies that really catch my eye, except for Beastclaw Raiders, which, traditionally speaking, the MiniWarGaming viewers don't love when I play them. So, no, I don't have any plans of buying up my own personal Age of Sigmar army right now, until they release something that catches my eye a little bit more. I like the game. I think it's a really good rule set. There's just not a certain army that, you know, screams like I need to have this, I need to collect it, other than the Beastclaw Raiders, but the studio already owns them, so nothing to be done there. Key for Killjoy. Hey Josh, have you picked up the new Middle-earth strategy battle game, and if so, what faction? Yes, I have, but I haven't put any effort into getting my stuff done yet. And it is Azog's Hunters that I currently have. So I need to add some more stuff to the list. I've got a bunch of Wargs and Warg Riders, Hunter Orcs. I got Bolg and Azog. So I just got to get them together, add a couple more things, and I should have enough of a list to start playing. But it looks like a really fun rule set. I played a really small game the other day. Had a lot of fun. Oh, there's Alexis. Eagle Queen Alexis. How many golf balls can a super toilet flush? Also, it's a fun fact about 1998. So, super toilet can flush, I think it was 24 is the one I've seen that's best so far online. If you have no idea what we're talking about, go online, go to YouTube and look up, just put in toilet golf ball. And there's these crazy toilets that, you know, if you need a toilet that can flush 24 golf balls at a time, you can buy them. Why you would need that, I don't want to think too much about, but they exist. And fun fact about 1998, I believe let's see if I can get it right, I believe the Undertaker threw Mankind through the Spanish announcer table. At WrestleMania? I don't know. He'll be in here soon to say something. Next up, we got Gunsing69. Hey Josh, you still accepting shoulder pads for Deathwatch? The batch I was working on did not come out so well, so I wanted to send better one. Cullen, it's a long question again. Rescue me.
What is it?
Gunsing69, S-E-N-G.
And what is it?
Still accepting shoulder pads. I wanted to send better one. What's the end of it?
The batch I was working on did not come out so well, so I wanted to send better ones. Hi from South Africa.
Okay, so hello to you in South Africa. Yes, I'm still accepting shoulder pads if you want to send some in, because I'm constantly, slowly expanding that army out. Just email me at josh@miniwargaming.com, and I can get you the info if you would be so kind as to send me a shoulder pad for my Deathwatch. Let's jump over to the next one here. Oberyn. Josh, what's your favorite traitor legion to fight against as your favorite loyalist legion? My favorite traitor legion to fight against? I don't mind. I'll play against anything. Like, I don't think there's one I particularly really do like. There's certain ones that I hate. The Iron Warriors are dumb with their stupid Iron Fire. Luca with his Gal Vorback, he's out of control. Doesn't know how to take anything else. But overall, yeah, I have fun playing against anybody in 30k. And some people complain about playing against Mechanicum or Custodes or whatever it is. There's nothing in 30k that I really mind playing against. Like, I have fun every time I play that game. There's never been a time that I played and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But I guess, yeah, maybe my favorite traitor legion to fight against would be the Dark Angels. I think that's going to be my answer. All right, we're going to jump back to some pre-submitted questions here. let the queue build up again. If you want to go ahead and ask questions in the queue live here, exclamation ask, space, and then your question. So, Big Mikey at Josh, how excited are you for new Titanicus Knights? Also, with the bunker having a store and gaming space all under the same roof, how likely do you think it will be that we'll see coverage of more specialist games? The Titanicus Knights I couldn't care less about. Like, it's cool, Cerastus Knights. I'm excited to see them continue to release stuff, but I don't know if I'm excited enough to buy them for myself. But I mean, it's really cool that they're putting stuff out for it. And with the bunker having a store and gaming space, hopefully we'll be able to build a bigger community, especially for specialist games. So there's a much higher chance of seeing the specialist games covered when I have an existing community. Because the thing that people don't realize is that when we plan things out, we plan them out about 6 months ahead of time. So it doesn't work for me to say, you know, I'm going to do a Titanicus bat rep because I found one guy who wants to play. And then, you know, there'll be enough people that get interested to come into play. Because by the time the video goes out, it's going to take me 6, 7, 8 months to get people booked after they've seen it. So it just doesn't work. I need to have a community close by for these games to be able to justify, you know, maybe doing a little bit less of one of the bigger game systems and make space. So hopefully, yeah, we'll see a lot more coverage of the specialist games. I'm excited for things like Titanicus and Blood Bowl and just being able to play after work. You know, punch out and just go to the gaming space or the store and just throw down some of these fun specialist games that I don't get to play on the stream very often, or on the stream on the channel. Okay, we got the Danish Viking Alex. At Josh, oh mighty bearded one, I seek your wisdom. Having a hard time defeating my friend's Craft World Eldar army. I play Thousand Suns. Ugh. I know nothing of the Thousand Suns. My model count is relatively low, meaning it's hard to block the Eldar movement. As you play Night Lords, perhaps you have some tips how to handle them Space Elves. Ugh. Also, any plans for 10,000 point Apocalypse games and 40k in AOS? Thanks for lots of awesome content. Happy Wargaming. As far as Apocalypse games, we have Dave and Phil from the Glacial Geek filming a 10,000 point game right now. Don't know when that'll come out, but soonish. Plans for additional Apocalypse games done right now, but like I said, we're filming one. Thousand Suns versus Craft World Eldar. I don't really know. I don't know the Thousand Suns that well. I'd have to take a look and see. I assume it's going to involve Demon Princes and having a ton of mobility. Email me about that one, josh@miniwargaming.com, and I'll read the Thousand Suns Codex, because I don't think I've played with or against them in this edition, so I got no idea. So the last of the submitted questions, pre-submitted, this is from Aaron. Josh, sorry the White Scars deal fell through, but it sounds like there's at least some funds available to expand the Night Lords and or Mechanicum. Maybe a Storm Eagle or Fire Raptor. Keep being awesome, more 30k. Yeah, so if you're not familiar, I was trying to work out a deal with a fella that had emailed me a while ago about some White Scars he was selling. His price was amazing. It just didn't kind of come together because I didn't need that big of a collection. But it's a really pretty army. So there's a little bit of funds available to expand the Night Lords, because the Night Lord's a personal army of mine, so that's one that I own. The studio doesn't contribute anything towards it. But the Mechanicum is a studio army, so there might be some funds to play around with 30k. The plans right now, though, is I'm going to go for Custodes. Because, I don't know, I got hobby ADD and I got to start new armies all the time. No. I wanted another army I can play in both game systems, so I'm going to do some Custodes, I think, because that'll also help me get the Fists on the board more often, because I'll have a small allied force to be able to play alongside them. But that's all the pre-submitted questions here, so let's jump back over to the stream. So now, everybody on stream, you got me for the rest of the time I'm here, which is another half an hour, which is pretty darn good, I think. Gray Army Gaming. Seeing as you're something of an internet celebrity. Ha. Do you have any good stories related to your celebrity status? I got a couple funny ones. What was that big nod for? The Texas story is probably the best one. So I'll tell you two of them. The first one happened the first year I went to Adepticon. And I had went to the restroom to go pee. So as I'm, you know, slinging a leak, I can feel a presence behind me. And the fella got probably about like this close. Like I could see my peripherals, and he leaned in. He went, "Oh my God, are you Josh from MiniWarGaming?" And I almost jumped out of my skin and said, "Yes, hello. Please give me a minute here to finish this up. Like I'm in a vulnerable position and I want to talk to you right now." So yeah, that one weirded me out. So now every time I go to a convention, I always go in the stall, because that way people can't follow me and try to talk to me. The Texas one, I can't remember the guy's name, and even if I could, I don't think I'd call him out. So I was down in Texas at WarGamesCon, taking part in the Narrative Guys event. The Narrative Guys put on some amazing stuff. If you ever get the chance, if they're at a convention near you, go check them out. But it was in between rounds, and I was hanging out with Eve from Knights of the Game Table, because she had her booth set up there with some of her folks, and they were just hanging out, beanbag chairs, playing Magic. And long story short, there was a fellow who came up who expressed the fact that he really liked Eve's channel, Knights of the Game Table, thought she was amazing, you know, the best YouTube person out there, and said he couldn't stand watching other channels like MiniWarGaming. So I kind of chuckled, and Eve made kind of a funny face and said, "Oh, well, this is Josh from MiniWarGaming." And his reaction was pretty good. He apologized, but said, "Yeah, you know, I just don't like your channel." And then I ended up asking him why he didn't like the channel, and he gave the answer of, "You don't play my faction very often." Pardon me?
We got a sub.
Thank you.
Who's 2 sub?
Woo!
Xpac 182.
Xpac, thank you very much for the sub. So anyways, yeah, this fellow said that, you know, we didn't cover his faction, and that the time that we did, we got all the rules wrong. I said, well, that's a good reason not to like a channel. I'm sorry to hear that. What faction? And he said Daughters of Cain, which I thought was kind of weird, because we didn't have any Daughters of Cain bat reps up. So I double checked and I looked it up, and I ended up saying to him, like, yeah, like we don't have any of those games. Like, I'm sorry that we don't cover your faction, but we didn't actually get anything wrong. He must have been watching somebody else's channel. So he got, I think, a little embarrassed and, you know, excused himself. And then later on, I met up with like 10 of his buddies that had been making fun of him for it, because they asked the same thing: "You got any funny stories?" And I told them, started telling them that one. They're like, "Yeah, that's Billy," or whatever his name was. Like, we're super embarrassed. Please don't judge any of us by what he does. But yeah, it's funny to run into people every once in a while. Don't answer. Okay. Somebody got in trouble. Pick next. Just keep that one there for me so I can see it again, because I didn't pay that much attention. Okay, so Robbie Zeratul. Does your beard give you special powers? Yes. It gives me the special power that the hair on top of my head stopped growing. Next up. Well, we got a bunch. I'm going to try to go faster. But yeah, keep throwing questions in if you guys have them. Davanos999. Favorite Star Wars character? Go. Darth Vader. Of course Darth Vader is my favorite character. He's the best. Grum Reaper. Do you think 8th edition rules would get more players into 30K or drive 30K players away? I think it's yes to both of those. I think if they put 8th edition rules into 30K, it would draw some people over, but it would also drive some of the old farts that like 7th edition away. It's good, it's bad. They could go either way with it. I don't think it matters that much. We got Mr. Gurfus. Hey, mate, just wondering. I went to catch up on a couple Twitch streams I missed, but the channel told me I needed to be subbed, but I've already... What's the rest of it, Colin? Mr. Gurfus.
Okay, gotta find it, Mr. Gurfus. Oh, we're almost there.
Come on, you can do this.
I went to catch up on the streams I missed, but the channel told me I need to be subbed, but I've already been subbed for MiniWarGaming for the past 5 years now. Is MWG really expecting us to spend even more money to access their content? Thanks, Josh. So this was answered in Matthew's video, but if you want to run it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I think the way it's going to work is, because I'm assuming you're like a Vault member. So let's see if I get this right. If you want to watch anything on Twitch, if we're doing it live, obviously, like anybody can watch it. If you want to watch it after the fact, if you're a, pardon me? Immediately after the fact. If you're a Twitch subscriber, you can do so. Or if you're a Vault member, if you're a Silver Vault member, you can wait till we post it on the channel, probably a couple days later. Or I'm sure that there's going to be some of the stuff that we're going to end up, we'll do it on Twitch and then we'll post it a couple days later on the YouTube. So it kind of depends on how quick you want to watch stuff, I guess. So yeah, Matt did just put a video up explaining all of it, but nope. I think the only thing would be if you are a Bronze Vault member, there might be some stuff you don't have access to if you don't watch it live. Some stuff. Don't know how much. Probably not that much. Next, we got new digital GK. Do you think a Primarch is coming out with Vigilus? It would be nice if another one did. Like, I think they're going to release more and more Primarchs as we go along. But I don't really know. I haven't followed the story that close, to be honest. Hopefully. I'd like to see another, Imperium Primarch, but I don't know who. Thor's Drake. Josh, would you prefer Space Wolves if they renamed all the wolf things to more Viking names? Change Wolfguard to Hearthguard? Probably. Not even all of them, just some of them. It's so Wolfy Wolfington right now. And I prefer the 30k... Here's the best way to put it. I prefer the 30k Space Wolves over the 40k Space Wolves. And if you don't know what I mean by that, excuse me, read some of the 30k novels featuring Space Wolves and you'll see the difference. They're treated more like, Space Vikings with a wolf motif as opposed to, I don't know, space furries that call everything Wolfingtons. I just don't like the, They went a little overboard with the wolf thing, in my opinion, for what it's worth.
Nutty Jawa, Twitch Prime sub.
Nutty Jawa, thank you so much for the sub. Okay, I'm starting to get through questions here. But if you want to submit questions, obviously, I guess not obviously. I wouldn't know how to do this. Exclamation ask is the command you need to put, then a space, and then your question. So, Oliver Washier, should I build a Necron army or a Space Wolf army? Neither. What is this, like a Lucas stream? No. Build a cooler army than either of those. I just dislike both those armies. So in my opinion, pick something cooler. We got Shogun Ka, William Ka, at MiniWarGaming at Josh. You ready for the Sisters of Silence that's happening this year? Sisters were one that, it'll be cool to get more sister stuff into the game, but other than that, I never really was interested in collecting them, so it's nice to see them finally doing it. But I think at this point, it's been so many years, I'm over it. I couldn't care less. Eagle Queen Alexis, want to get a game at Adepticon? I don't know, maybe. I tell you what, I'll send you an invoice with my fee, and then we'll discuss it. That's a joke, by the way. I'd love to play a game. Window 8. Will you be joining in on Game of Blackstone? Probably not, unless nobody else wants to do it. It's a cool looking game. I'd love to play, but I have a lot of other stuff to do, so I need to be selective in my time. So unlike the other guys, even Matt and Dave now, which they're able to film 3, 4, 5 days a week, I get 1 or 2 if I'm lucky, so I need to really kind of pick and choose what it is I film because of all the other responsibilities I have right now. Cullen, you're going to have to help me here with Kev Barry. I got the first part of the question. Do I prefer the faction-based psychic powers of 8th edition or the old 7th edition disciplines? Personally, miss the variety and randomness of...
Sorry, I was answering a question. Who's it from, sorry?
Kev Barry.
Where is it?
Wow. I don't know what the rest of the question is. I can tell you that I like the 8th edition better.
So where did you end off?
I missed the variety and randomness.
Of the discipline list.
Oh. So they're okay. Yeah, the discipline list, I think there was just way too many. So I like the faction-based one right now. Keeps it nice and short and simple. But you got to remember, I started playing the game in 3rd edition where like every Space Marine librarian just knew Smite. Except for the Blood Angel guys knew the Quickening. Like it was faction-based like that. Very simple, very basic. And if memory serves correct, psychic powers were done in the shooting phase. There wasn't this whole psychic phase nonsense. So I prefer 8th edition for the simplified, streamlined kind of way to do it. Let's see. Here's next. Casual Lunatic 113. Oh, just wanted to mention, you're totally right about how Deathwatch chooses equipment. The other fella is wrong. Yeah, I had some back and forth on Deathwatch equipment. Because when you take a veteran, he's got a bolter. You can replace the bolter with 2 weapons, and they give you lists. The way that I read it is that there's the top list, you can pick up to 2 choices from the top list. And then the second list is up to 1 choice. So he was under the impression, the other fella, that you couldn't do something like a Stalker Bolter and a Chainsword, which I'm pretty darn sure you can. But I talked about it in the open vault that went up, was it yesterday, Colin?
Yes, or yes, it would be yesterday.
Yeah, it's the open vault from yesterday, so if you want to know what I'm talking about, you can go there and see what the back and forth was. Or it was in one of my videos, too. It was my latest bat rep. There's a thread in there about it. Next. Grimbold 17, your choice, Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy? Well, it depends on a couple factors. If I want to play for fun, a fun little pickup game against somebody that I know, Warhammer Fantasy. If I want to play against somebody for the first time, or I want to film it, Age of Sigmar. They're both good game systems. They both have their merits. Warhammer Fantasy, I don't know, it's got a lot of great things about it, but it's not the best game in the world. Probably, honestly, Kings of War over Warhammer Fantasy for me right now. Starting to work through questions, so again, if you have more, feel free to submit them with the exclamation ask command, and then you just leave a space and put your question in. War Bubbler, how'd you come to work for MiniWarGaming? So I used to be somebody that came and played at the store when MiniWarGaming still had a store and a gaming club. So played there for
Lord Krabby.
Lord Krabby. What's up, Cypher? So yeah, I used to show up and play at the club, and you know, after a couple of years when the club shut down, I'd still came in and played against Chris in the evenings. And through doing that, I met Steve when he was new. And then,
Hey,
you know,
me too.
well, I met a bunch of people. But it was one, like, when Steve started making content, he was the one that would basically just call me on a 3 times a week minimum basis to come in and film games. So I was here so often that by the time that I got, you know, bored with the job that I currently had, which was at Canadian Tire, I was ready to leave there, and I kind of put it out to MiniWarGaming that I was looking for work, and if they were interested. They hired me, and the rest is history. But yeah, it started off just being somebody coming in and playing at the club. All right, Soul Binding is Josh single. Surprisingly enough, I'm not. I have Been together with my lovely other half for many, many moons. Let me think. Heather and I have been together for a little over 13 years, so no. Definitely not single. Alright. J-Lay 1. Hey Josh, if you design your own ideal Age of Sigmar faction, what would it be? Ooh. Okay, so that's the thing, is that they've got such like weird, oddball ideas. Honestly, like, my ideal faction probably would have just been Beastclaw Raiders. So I'd like to see some kind of an ogre faction. But it's always like, I find with the Age of Sigmar factions, it's one thing mixed with another. So you've got, you know, your Sky Dwarves or your Sea Elves. So, what can you do with ogres? I was going to say, like, it's ice ogres, but they've already got that. What do you think, Cullen? What could they do?
For what?
Ogres. What can make ogres interesting as an Age of Sigmar faction?
I don't know. Like, I mean, the Dragon Ogres are super cool, but they're kind of chaosy, and I know that.
Right, like, what environment would these ogres be from? Because that's what seems to define it. Because you got Sea Elves, you got Sky Dwarves. Like, where are the ogres from that make them unique and interesting?
I mean, they're supposed to be based from, like, the original ones were more like Mongolian, weren't they?
Well, they get this weird Middle Eastern vibe to them, yeah.
Right.
You know what I want to see? Give me fire ogres. Expand on the whole fire belly thing.
Make them the Fire Slayer enemies.
Yeah, that could be kind of cool. Give me fire ogres, Games Workshop. Then you get more of my money. That actually does sound kind of cool.
I mean, they already have Fire Belly.
That's what I mean. Like, the fire belly exists. So maybe expand on that kind of an idea. Lord Gabriel 50. Now we have Primarchs back. Who do you think should lead the Chaos Crusade? Well, not Failbadon. Like, I know they've tried to retcon it to make him not seem like a huge failure. But the only character in 40k that's a bigger failure than Abaddon is Horus. So you got, you know, Captain Failure and Failure Junior. So who should lead the Chaos Crusade? Oh, let me see. I don't know. I don't know what kind of a leader, what kind of a good leader could unite these chaos factions. You know what? Even though he's boring and I think he's dumb, Lorgar. Let's have Lorgar lead the Chaos Crusade. And get everybody back in line. Yeah. Yeah, let's go Lorgar. I get distracted by everything you do, you know that? Are you watching me watching you?
Yeah.
Mutu, how is your day so far? So far, so good. Can't complain. Thank you for asking. Sit and talks on Thursdays from now on. Yes, Eric Ramvey, because we were filming them on Thursdays anyways, so it doesn't disrupt our schedule. So even though they went out on Fridays, they were always filmed on Thursdays, so this works for us. So I can't see why we would change it moving forward.
Just that they will be posted on YouTube 24 hours after this.
Yeah, so they still, yeah, correct, yeah. As Colin pointed out, if you didn't hear him, they still will get posted on YouTube, but it'll be at least 24 hours after we do it live on Thursdays. Oh, Oliver's back. If they're not cool enough, which army should I build? Okay, let me think. Because you had two really different weird options. You had Necrons and you had Space Wolves. Who would be cool to do? I don't know. It depends on what you want to go for. Like, we'll continue this conversation going on. Are you looking for an army that is kind of casual competitive? You're looking for an army that's just super cool? Like, what are you looking for in an army? Why did you think Necrons and Space Wolves? Next up, we got Kiefer Killjoy. Am I in the next D&D campaign? Am I looking forward to it? I am not in the next D&D campaign. And again, it comes down to what I talked about earlier. I have limited time to do stuff, so I got to pick and choose. And the other fellas were super, super excited for it. And I just kind of took myself out of the running and said, you know, if Steve and Luca are this pumped for it, I have no problem stepping back and not taking part. I would love to do it eventually, and I'm looking forward to them filming it and kind of getting to watch that. So I'm excited for it. There we go. There's a good name. Booty Clappage. Do you own an AK-47? No, I don't own an AK because they are...
Luca?
Maybe. It actually very well might be.
Didn't he just ask you that yesterday?
He actually... no, he did. So I don't own an AK because they're prohibited in Canada, and I don't have a prohibited license. I do own an SKS. If you're kind of familiar with the SKS, it's almost the kind of older cousin of the AK. And so yeah, I have an all original SKS that's in really good shape that I haven't done any work to right now. But 7.62x3.9 is a very fun round to play around with. If I ever had the chance to own an AK, sure, just to say I owned one, but the SKS does everything I want it to, and I do dare say that I find the SKS a lot cooler than an AK is. Heavy Glenn, what do you think will happen to the Horus Heresy figurine game? I don't know. So, obviously with something like that, if you're unfamiliar with what kind of did happen, is the very untimely passing of Mr. Alan Bly seems to have derailed that a little bit, because I think he was the fella in charge, and if not directly in charge, he was kind of seemed to be one of the big driving forces, or at least the one that the public knew the best. So his very untimely passing seems to have derailed a little bit, so hopefully we start to see more releases, and like I said, I really want Games Workshop to release another really good box set so I can get some huge savings and expand my armies. I don't know. People got to play it. It's a good game. It's the lore-wise, it's the best game Games Workshop puts out, in my opinion. And more people just got to get into it. I know that it's tough having to get stuff from Forge World, so hopefully Games Workshop figures out something there. Because they got... that, I don't know, that's my favorite game. It's the coolest game. MiniWarGaming, is that you, Colin? Maybe. Turkey or ham for Thanksgiving? Turkey.
Woohoo, we got another sub. We got Mackin in 2003.
Mackin?
Mackin.
Mackin 2003, thank you so much for the subscription.
It's a Twitch Prime sub, so anybody who has Amazon Prime can hook up to the Twitch account.
Is that what it is? So if you get Amazon Prime, you can just hook it up.
You get one free sub.
You get one free sub?
So.
Cool. But yeah, turkey. I like turkey.
I would agree.
Okay, Colin, you're going to have to help with this next one.
Yeah,
new
prepared.
digital GK.
Yep.
Just something from the Warhammer community page, something big is coming to Vigilus. Over the past year, we've seen this beleaguered world
Evolved from the backwater, from a backwater to a key flashpoint, bringing together several major factions in the 41st millennium in a struggle for supremacy. With the Warhammer 40,000 Vigilus Weekender on the horizon, in brackets, and some exciting reveals on the way. We're taking a look at the story of Vilgus. Is it Vilgus?
Vigilus, I think?
Vigilus, so far. Not since Cadia has the world been so hotly fought over or vital to.
I mean, that sounds cool. As far as Thor Delim, I got no predictions. I got no idea. I'd love to see a Primarch come back in one way or another, but I couldn't tell you.
We got another Twitch Prime sub from Kiefer Killjoy.
Kiefer, thank you. I assume this isn't the old Kiefer that I used to know from years ago, but we'll see if he pops up in the comment section. Because I haven't met many Kiefers over the year.
A good friend of mine is Kiefer, but not the same one.
Okay. Lord Gabriel 50. Ogre slavers would be cool. They could have a collection of less powerful things from other races. That that could be cool, but for whatever reason, I don't see Games Workshop going really hard down our whole thing is we're slavers route. So I think that much would be bad PR. Don't know.
There's about 5 minutes left. So
We have about 5 minutes left here.
If you got a queue to leave you for 5 minutes, maybe you should close the questions or.
I got 6 here, but one of them's Aaron. Nobody cares about Aaron.
Kiefer Killjoy's from UK.
Okay, so it's not the Kiefer that I know. All right, so I'll tell you what. I'll try to bang these out as quick as I can. We got about 5-ish minutes left, so if you got questions, get them in there right now. Exclamation, ask, then put a space in your question, and just go nuts. Go. I'll give you 1 minute to get your questions in there. Tell me when to close it.
Okay.
So, Oliver, how about Deathwatch? You do Deathwatch if you really want to do Deathwatch. It's one of those things that you really have to focus a lot. And if you're not sure what you're wanting to do, I don't think the Deathwatch route because they're so customizable. One thing that I've wanted to do for a while, so maybe I'll try to live vicariously through you, is the Cardons? I think that's how you say it. The Space Sharks. Do a Space Sharks army. That would be cool. You don't see those very often. But yeah, shoot me an email and we'll continue this conversation. Josh@MiniWarGaming.com. Have I played Inquisitor Martyr? I have not, and I know if I do that I'll waste all my time, so I might not do it anytime soon. The Rising Ape on Warhammer TV. Andy Horn mentioned an eventual return to Mordheim.
Closing.
And that was your chance to get questions in. Andy Horn mentioned an eventual return to Mordheim. Would this interest you, or would you rather see a proper Age of Sigmar skirmish game? I don't know. Mordheim, and a return to Mordheim would be interesting. I could tell you that I would probably not be interested if they handled the release the same way that they handled the release of... I can't even remember the name of it right now. I've just shut it completely out of my mind. Their gang warfare game that I hated.
Necromunda?
Necromunda, yeah. Yeah, I've completely shut that out of my mind. If they handled the release of Mordheim the same way that they did Necromunda, I'd probably have no interest. But if they simply re-released Mordheim with new miniatures, I'd probably be super interested.
Oh, for sure.
But, or a proper Age of Sigmar skirmish game. Either could be cool. Tegel. Do you think we will ever see a Horus Heresy TV series or movie? I truly think it would be epic if it got a Game of Thrones-esque budget. I can say, maybe unpopular opinion, but I hope they don't do it because they won't be able to do it right for a budget that's anywhere close to reasonable. I don't care. You need 10 times the Game of Thrones budget to make this interesting.
Yeah, Game of
and
Thrones,
to do it properly.
And Game of Thrones is the budget in that
is bananas.
Ridiculous in compared to most other TV shows. So
I don't think they'd be able to pull it off. It might be cool if they did something animated, maybe. But even then, that'd be a toughie. But yeah, maybe if they did something animated, they might be able to pull it off. But I would not want to see them try to do like a live action one. Wouldn't work. The budget's not there. And even if it was, it's still not there. Aaron, I get interesting when you get to work. Aaron decided to stay home and read 2nd edition rulebooks today. Sorry, sick. Oberyn, Josh, Cullen, you're going to have to help me with this. I've got word bearers, about 4 Kelth boxes of them, and my Primarch adding to about 6k points. What else should I add other than Gal Vorback?
that was the whole thing.
Oh, that was the whole thing?
Yeah.
Perfect. Ooh. I don't know. I'd say get some tanks in there, get some armor in there. Like, do you just have the masses and masses on foot? I'd get some fire support. So, some heavy support squads, and maybe get some quad mortars. Yeah, get some good long range fire support in there. Rage Quit Arenas, Age of Sigmar 40k. Right now, I think I like the rules of Age of Sigmar better, but I like the armies of 40k better. So whatever I'm feeling like at any specific time. Sand Ghost, have you seen the new video posted by Warhammer Community? Is that the Ultramarine flag flying or something like that, I think?
I'm
I watched one like right before.
Where would it be? I went to Warhammer Community.
Go to Warhammer TV. Go to their YouTube.
Oh.
If it's that one, I've seen it, and all I can say is Ultramarines, meh. I don't know. I find them boring.
Yeah.
Sounds right. Is it just?
Is this all it is?
Probably. How boring. No, I don't know. I just don't like Ultramarines. I don't like hate them, but them for you. Any news about Lord of the Rings content? Other than the fact that soon, hopefully, if we get some spare time, I'm not willing to cut corners somewhere else to make room for it. So we'll get there eventually, though. Can I keep a longer show, please? No. Maybe eventually, because I think I was never supposed to do it, but I was always the one that, because we were supposed to do, the old sit and talk used to be half an hour YouTube, half an hour vault, and I would do half an hour YouTube, then like an hour and a half vault, and nobody ever caught on, or I never got in trouble for it. So maybe we'll get there again eventually, but not today, unfortunately. Last, we got Casual Lunatic 113. How would I fix Terminators? On a very basic level, I would give them 3 wounds. Because right now, plasma and stuff kills them too quick. I think 3 wounds would be the kind of magic number for me that would make them interesting to me. As far as what that does to the points, I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to see them get that. And that's it, folks. So thanks so much for tuning in, all you folks on Twitch. And thanks so much again for all the folks that have asked questions or submitted questions before. Next week, same time, same place. It's going to be Steve doing questions, though. So if you're watching this video on the MiniWarGaming website, that's where you can submit questions ahead of time for Steve. Or he'll answer your questions live if you can happen to jump on Twitch. Colin, am I forgetting anything else?
2 p.m.
Yep, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where we're going to be doing it from now on. And other than that, thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us through this. As we get more and more used to it, I think the show will just get better and better.
Yeah,
But that's it.
Maybe we'll have things on the wall.
Yeah, and Colin's going to put things on the wall so it doesn't look like I'm getting interrogated. These lights are really hot. Why am I wearing a sweater? Thanks for tuning in. Happy wargaming.